stomach bug, so I don't need to go to the gym anymore.
My wife's. Oh. Yep.
Oh,
Here I go.
Yep, there we go.
My. Oh, I didn't know if I hear you. Here, speak real quick.
Oh, here I go. Yep, there we go.
Ow, fuck, son of a bitch.
Oh, I didn't know if I hear you. Here, speak real quick.
No, I didn't hear you. I heard Nick.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah, I'm not hearing you, Theris.
Oh, that's okay. We don't need to hear Bradley.
I hear you. I heard Carl. Yep. Yeah, hearing you there. Oh, okay. We don't need to hear Bradley. Not hearing you. I heard Carl. Yep. Yeah, hearing you there.
Oh,
Yeah, Theris, why aren't you in stream?
yeah, what are you doing, Theris? I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah, what are you doing there?
Still open.
Oh, but I will be back tomorrow, so I will definitely be there for tomorrow night's game. I'll probably still be a little tired, but yeah, hopefully. Wait, Moose is still alive, right?
I'll still be a little tired, but
Do I need to bring a new character sheet?
That depends. Does Moose have a pet?
I can hear you. And no, Moose does not have a pet.
No, I still don't think I can hear you.
No, I just hear Nick. In Discord, I hear you.
Yeah, Discord. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if I can hear. Discord, I hear you. I don't know if I can hear. That was I hear.
There we go. So how's everyone doing?
Test check. How about now?
I haven't even help.
There
You're
we
being
go.
good.
It reset my default mic as well, so I think we're good now.
I got you.
I hear you now. All right. Happy Friday, everybody. So, we'll get off to a quick little recap. We are missing Patrick, although he's getting worked on currently anyway, so he'll be offline for a day or two. And we have Baron now, so we're good to go. So, quick recap of where we left off last time. We picked up back in the Feywilds where previously Patrick and Deft and the interesting Fox gentleman had kind of made their way to find Deft's friend Lord Grey, seeking aid and information. You eventually did make your way in, while everyone in the city of Curzon apparently watched, and eventually watching on their very large display system. Came in, tried to negotiate his release, ended up fighting a couple of the children seemingly drawn to your location by, you're not sure, you basically assumed that something found out you were there, probably had something to do with what was going on with the crystals. Kind of fought them off, and then as you were getting a little bit, not desperate, but you were getting a little bit more into the heated part of the battle, Lord Grey had turned to Deft and basically given him an option saying he potentially could escape, but it might kill the tree in the process, and basically asked you what he should do, whether he should escape and potentially kill the tree or just remain, and you decided to spare the tree, which was seemingly the answer he was looking for, as he separated himself from the tree, seemingly testing you to make sure that you were still thinking for yourself and not under the influence of maybe any old bad habits. As you guys kind of got there, you negotiated a little bit. Patrick spoke with him in regards to potentially getting some help with repairs and accessing maybe things in his memory he couldn't remember previously. You guys thought it'd just be fun to kind of hang out for a couple of days. Meanwhile, back in Curzon, Ari and Solomon had kind of fought over the Fey Crystal for a little bit, eventually seeing a large explosion. As Baron and Solomon ran over in that direction to go see what was going on. Ari, I believe you were trying to make your way to the Runekeeper Sanctum, or where were you trying to go specifically?
She doesn't know where he lives, so the Runekeeper Sanctum is the only place she knows of that Liddell Blizzard hangs out.
Yeah. So basically, that is more or less where we left off without too much pomp. So we'll pick up there. Those of you in the Feywild, just very quickly, do you want to stay with Patrick the entire time he's there getting work done? Because he will be offline. You could potentially try to bring yourselves back. You don't know how that would work, or Gray can send you guys back. Potentially said he could send you all back at one time, but up to you.
He's either way.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Def, what
wait
do
for
you
Gray
think?
until he's ready. I'd rather not risk it. Sure.
Well,
you
Gray
can
can't
do
come
what
back. Patrick needs like 3 days.
He
So right now
can't
it's
send
you
us
and-
back early though, right?
He can send you back, but then he might not be able to send Patrick back as easily. But Patrick is also a robot, so time relevance may be less relevant. You never know. Or it could be very relevant. He may come back 20 years in the future. But up to you. You never know. You might go back to a pretty close proximity. I'm sure all your limbs will be there.
No, let's wait it out. No need to risk it.
Sure. All right, so we'll let them kind of finish, and then we'll see how you guys connect and go from there. So, Ari, were you flying to the Runekeeper Sanctum, or what specifically were you walking over there? What were you doing?
She's gonna have Sock turn back into his weasel form so she can carry him, and then the three of them can fly.
Do you ask Sock to turn back into a weasel?
Oh yes.
Well,
I don't remember. Beth, what was your little brother's name again? Uranus?
I don't know,
Uranus?
Ari. Do you not remember?
I'm sure she does. I don't.
Embarrassing.
for all intents and
I mean,
purposes,
I
you
don't
have
say it that
called
often.
You guys have continuously called him Sock, even when he was in little kid form, but he does actually have a human name.
Oh yeah. Sock, can you head into your weasel form, please?
Roll a persuasion check.
Is 18 plus 10, I believe, 28.
And it just looks at you, burps a little bit. Okay. He rolled a nat one. So you just kind of watch him turn into a weasel, and he's got like his head is just kind of covered with milk.
She gives him a
Tony, you're there as
Hold
well, and you're also probably very intoxicated.
Gives him a smile and a chuckle, and we'll hold it around.
Here under his breath, so degraded. And Ken just climbs up and will sit on your shoulder.
All right, Tanya, that's fine.
Would you say you were breaking up there?
Yes. She said, all right, Tanya, let's fly.
Okay.
All right, so you guys fly over to the Runekeeper Sanctum?
Yep.
Sure. So as you guys fly over there, roll a history check really quick. As you try to think, because you haven't been there recently. You passed it when you first came here for the delve.
14
And you
plus
don't have
0,
Baron with you.
14.
Okay. We'll say you get there eventually, but in the time it takes you to get there, these guys go first. All right,
Have
so
to do a couple.
yeah, you have to go back and forth a couple of times. Solomon and Baron, because you're with Baron, it's very easy to get around the town. So you guys run over to the source of the fire. You're not exactly sure what it is. It looks like kind of a larger building. Hard to say though. What do you guys do?
Start to. You said we're at the building?
Yeah, so you and Solomon just approach up and you kind of see coming out, and it's a building that's kind of built into the side of the mountain in the interior of the mountain. And you see smoke and fire kind of bellowing out from it.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like, and you would know this just from your general proficiency with stonework and stuff like that. You notice there's no like exterior damage. It seems to be coming from within.
Looks like there's an interior fire, lad.
Yes.
Try and put those flames out.
How is the surrounding populace acting?
You look, there doesn't seem to be a lot of people around. Later in the day, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So probably not a lot. It's not on like one of the levels where people necessarily live a bunch. It's kind of just more. It almost looks like more of a fortified type wall. There are like 2 entrances in though, and you see smoke kind of coming out from both.
Are the doors open?
They don't even have doors. They're just openings that go down.
Got you. All right. I'm just gonna send an echo in to scout.
Okay.
Well,
so you send an echo walking down.
I'm gonna, because I'm immune to fire, so I'm going to cover my face to prevent any smoke, and I'm going to just say to Solomon, "See you on the inside, lad," and I rush in.
All right. So you both go in. You send your echo. You go in yourself. As you
I'm gonna look
go,
for survivors.
Roll
in case there's anyone in there.
Yeah, just roll. I'd say you can roll a perception check for that one. That'd be easy enough to do. You don't need to do investigation.
Let's see. Oh. Was that my perception? No, that was Solomon's perception. Where's my? There it is.
How do you have Solomon's
God,
perception?
it's so loud. Hang on. Gotta turn my volume down. Oof.
Nice.
All right. Oh, I see. I just got on. All right. So you guys kind of look around. You don't see any people.
Okay.
You kind of look, and as you go down, it kind of levels off for a little bit, and you see like doors to the left and right. They just have rooms that are kind of empty, and it continues downward.
Okay.
Do we know where the fire is coming from?
The smoke is coming from further down the tunnel. So the smoke is rising up out the way you came in from.
Okay.
Real quick, are there any windows to this place, or is the smoke just coming out of the door?
There's not specifically any windows. There's just 2 openings. It looks like almost like the walls are more fortified to be secure. And there's 2, not cave-like openings, but basically 2 openings that go down deeper into the structure.
Okay.
And after a while, continue.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, as you just continue going down, you're not sure exactly how far it goes down. But as you make it about the second levels, when you actually start to see bits of fire, and there's like crates and other things that are currently on fire, and like these long rectangular rooms. You're not sure if they're just storage rooms or if they serve a greater purpose, but it looks like storage.
Okay. Openings, like any doorways or anything that I can block to try and basically choke this fire out. I want to block it as I proceed.
Roll. What's
If
the stonework proficiency you get advantage in, or you get double proficiency in?
It's history, I believe.
Yeah. What do I get double proficiency? What is it? Hang on. What?
I think it's history for things regarding stuff.
I think it's stone something.
Stone cunning or
yeah,
something like that's what
stone
I'm
cunning.
stone.
Yeah.
I think it is stone. Let me read. When you make intelligence history check, you're considered proficient in history and add double proficiency bonus to this check.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll one of those. Just because you're familiar
Right.
with how these kind of buildings are built.
AFK
Double
taking dogs out.
proficiency.
You gather it might be a little more complex because while you could block up these entrances, there are other air escapes that kind of come out in different spots in the mountain just for air
Okay.
circulation. So probably not if you could seal the room potentially, or you can do other things, but probably the door entryways wouldn't be enough.
Got it. Okay.
And your
Well,
firebud's not here.
I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and close it anyways, just in case I do have the opportunity to plug it up.
Well, there's no door. It's just an opening. So you'd have to do
never mind.
magic or shenanigans.
Well, how many times? Hang on. Do I still have I still have stone shape. How many times would I need to stone shape this room?
I think you could do like a 5-foot square.
Yeah, I could do a 5-foot cube.
Does it last for like a couple turns, or do you have to cast it for each 5 foot? I think it lasts for a little bit, doesn't it?
It's casting time is one action, so I assume that it would just be I'd have to keep casting it and
Hit the link
recasting
button.
it.
I think hit you. There you go. Action instantaneous. Yeah, I guess so. Because
I mean, it's up to you.
it's about
How-
10
how-
feet, so you could definitely do it. The only downside is the opening, and they go to different areas,
Mhm.
but they're about 10 feet wide. So you could do it in probably 2 cast if you wanted to, but those are level 4s.
Yeah.
What about you,
Yeah,
Solomon?
I'll just keep proceeding.
Well, do you want to keep going down? There are ways to go down further, but there is fire here.
Yeah, I'm going into the fire. I'm searching for the source, and again for any survivors.
The
Alright, so
Echo's
you go
gonna
down.
point at one of the burning crates before he leaves,
I'm back.
Welcome back.
because the Echo
What
can't speak. The
Yeah, what
Echo's
are you pointing at?
one of the
He's pointing.
burning crates.
I look at the crate.
Roll investigation check.
Oh man, +0.
It doesn't take much. Fine. Roll a medicine check.
Medicine check.
Oh, I was like, oh, that's a low roll, and then I saw your modifier. You look, and it takes you a minute because a lot of this is on fire. This looks like stock medical supplies, if you had to guess.
I'm sorry, you cut out there for a second. I heard medical.
Looks like medical supplies.
Okay. I turn back to the Echo and I just say, I uncover my mouth so he can read my lips in case he can't hear me. Would I even think of that? Actually, you know what? Aaron's.
You did have 23 beers
he
this
was.
evening.
That's true. I did drink a lot. Okay, let's just put it to a solid chance that Baron thinks to uncover his mouth when he speaks. All right, so Baron continues to cover his mouth, and he says back to the Echo, "It's just medical supplies, lad. We can always get more."
Can you hear through the echo?
Yes, I can. I had all my senses go through the Echo.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Except touch.
All right. As you head down into the third layer of this descent, as you guys are heading down the hallway, I need you both to roll. What do I want to call this? Let's call it investigation check, shall we?
Yay!
Smoke's getting a little thicker.
Oh, that was almost an 18.
Solomon, you don't kind of notice. Just you're not sure if it's being further away from your echo or if it's just the fact the smoke's in there or the heat, whatever it may be. However, Baron, you being set a little lower. Well, actually, you're probably about the same height as Solomon within proximity.
My echoes are normal size.
Oh yeah, that's
How
true.
tall
So
are
the
these?
his echo are adult human size. He is child human sized.
The echoes
Got
are
it.
about like almost 6 feet.
Yeah, so you are shorter than the echo. So as you're going through and just you sit a little lower to the ground, you kind of kick like an axe as you're walking down, and you look on the ground and there's like a helmet and an axe and a pile of dust.
So it's not disintegrated.
And then you look a little bit further down and you see like a crossbow and another pile of dust. And like a dagger maybe 3 feet from that. And it looks like there's almost like a dust line reaching out from the bigger pile of dust towards the dagger.
Oh wait, that's right. I'm extremely drunk. So do I recognize any is there anything that I could recognize from either the weapons or like would there be any chance I'd know who these people were? Is there
I would say
anything identifying?
because of your background and the work you do, I'd say, yeah, as you pick up, and the helmet and the axe would probably be the most apparent. This is gear similar to what the city guard carry.
Okay.
Roll a history check with disadvantage because you're drunk and down in the smoky room.
History check with disadvantage.
You're not exactly sure where you are. I mean, you gather it's probably some sort of surplus storage area, but nothing specifically comes to mind about it. But as you do go down to the last part of the layer, there's more crates that are on fire. This room has been on fire, it seems like probably first. More of it is burnt up. But you don't see any people.
Okay. Well, let's start by. Is it still on fire? Or is it smoking at this point?
About half this room has burnt up and is just kind of like ash or smoking, and the other half is still on fire.
Okay. I am going to start stamping out fires left, right, and center. And I'm going to, as a bonus action, I'm going to cast a spiritual weapon and have my spiritual weapon also help me start stamping out.
I will allow this. What shape does it take?
It takes the form of a golden hammer, but specifically a forging hammer.
Nice. So you just start stamping out fires?
Yep, I'm stamping out fires left and right.
What about you, Solomon?
Well, if my echo touches the fire, it's gonna die.
I'm aware. What about the real you?
I can't see anything, so I'm just standing outside.
I mean, you could blind set your way down.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm probably gonna do. Yeah.
So you start making your way down?
Yep.
All right, so you start heading down that way. Roll a perception check for hearing as you get to the first level. Because you are kind of like guiding yourself with your blind sight right now.
Oof. Lucky number 13.
All right, so you start walking down. It takes you a little bit, but you do eventually find your way. It's yeah, I'd say you make it past the first part of the fire, and you eventually make your way down to where Baron is.
Yep.
So you see Baron just like smashing and kind of putting out the fire with his hammer, and his summon.
What is in these crates down here? If I can find one that's relatively.
Sure, and there's light from the fire, so you can see. It's more medical supplies.
We need a way to put out all this fire now.
All right, wait. Can I actually speak through the?
Solomon came down.
Oh, Solomon came down. Got it.
Yeah, so it's you, him, and his echo down at the third layer now.
Oh, got it. Okay. Cool. I don't have. As I'm standing there smashing crates and stamping out fires, I don't have any spells with any water or air in them, seeing as they ain't too good for forging.
Wouldn't you need water to quench weapons?
No, I use oil for that. Water is very bad for weapons. Never quench your weapon in water.
Yeah, no, I realized how stupid that was when I said it.
Now, if there was a spell called Summon Oil,
I mean, Greece.
that's true. Well, but then
But,
I'm going to just get in my shop is going to just get invaded by America.
All right,
Technically, Tuesday has the alchemy jug with the oil.
no, this is probably a preemptive strike for an attack.
Do you recall something very similar just actually happened in Gangcaster as well?
Mm-hmm. There's probably going to be several other attacks soon. But damaging the medical supplies, so we'll need a way to snuff out the fire as quick as possible.
After your ears perk up, the Feywild. What's that feeling? Yeah.
Someone's doing arson without me.
So we'll need a way to block out or prevent the smoke from escaping.
We need to remove oxygen from the room. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't know what oxygen was. Even if there,
You would be familiar enough, I'd say, with the concept that there
we
needs
need
to be
we
air
need to
for the
remove-
fire.
Yeah, we need to remove the air from the room.
At what point could we reasonably choke out the fire?
Well, on the layer you're on, it's half of it's already burnt up.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just trying to pad it out, I mean, you probably can't save a whole bunch, but you could put some of it out.
I'm more
But this is-
thinking the higher levels.
Well, the higher levels on fire, they're burning. It really just depends, but because there's so much of it, it is burning very hot, and because it's also inside, the heat is kind of staying in there and making it easier to light everything on fire. Plus, there is air out. If you remove the air, that could potentially solve your issue, but you're also two people that I don't know if you have any easy ways, but I know you have ways.
Where do you think we could block the escape of smoke? I'm talking to Baron.
Anywhere you can see some smoke seeping to, whether if they're cracks in the wall, holes, chimneys, anything that you can block.
Mm-hmm. How many entrances were into the second floor? Was there one or multiple?
So there's two different sides. They kind of meet into the bigger rooms, but essentially there's two 10-foot wide, so 10 feet tall, 10-foot wide doorways that basically the entirety of the pathway up. So they go all the way outside, they go all the way down to the second level, and all the way to the third level. So you'd have to block those, and then potentially a couple of air escapes that are built into like the walls and ceiling. or get really, really creative.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else in this room that we can use. You know what?
You got any level 19 shenanigans up your sleeve?
I'm a level 19 fighter. I don't got much shenanigans.
I fight the fire.
I don't really have any shenanigans either. I'm really good at forging.
I mean,
I'm gonna pick up the
Mhm.
I'm gonna pick up the armor, the two helmets and the axe,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to, as quickly as I possibly can, I'm going to cast heat metal. I'm going to try to melt them enough so that I can manipulate and shape them, but not so that it like runs liquid and like runs out of my hands.
Yeah, what are you trying to shape them into?
I want to get basically a big blob of hot malleable metal, and I want to start going around and slapping it over all of the holes and chimneys that I can find.
How long does heat metal last? Guess that's the good question.
I can let you know. Give me 1 second.
And I'm trying to think
1
back.
minute. Heat metal lasts for 1 minute.
Yeah, so you could block up some. You probably don't have enough material to do them all. I mean, you could break the stone
Concentration up to a
pathways.
minute.
Yeah, because you only have a couple pieces of actual metal that you found. You probably wouldn't have quite enough.
We don't need to block everything. We just need to block some and the major escapes.
Actually, hold on 1 second. Solomon, if you would
Mhm.
please roll me a D100.
58.
Just want to see something. I don't think it would help. Nope. Nope.
All right. I have something else that I can do when you're done with that.
I got nothing.
How bad is the fire in the upper floors?
Pretty intense. So that's like that's the most recent fire. So if you wanted to save a lot of things, that would be a better place to spend your time. But you still can save stuff.
I'm gonna go towards the upper floors and just start frosting things.
Oh, nice. You see, you pull out the mace and just start frosting stuff. I like this. And Baron, you said you had something else you wanted to try?
Well, a ray of frost. I don't know if that's going to be enough.
I don't.
It helps.
But I was going to say, once I run out of material from the weapons and armor that was on the floor, I will start. And I'm only doing this because I'm so wasted at this point. And I hate that I'm doing this, but I'm going to say that I'm doing it because I'm drunk. I start tearing of my own armor off, melting them, and slapping it to make up for the lack of material.
So your armor, unfortunately, because you have Patrick's armor, you cannot malform it. It's too magical.
It's too magical. Wow, fuck.
Yeah, because you have his, I think it's like legendary plate armor, isn't it?
Oh, you know what? Maybe it is.
No, it's a very rare dwarven plate.
Well, I have a battle axe, and I have, I think, 2 hand axes. Let's see, what else do I have in my inventory?
And if we just block up the 2 major entrances, we should be good.
Well, that sounds a lot smarter than what I was about to do. Lead the way.
All right, Baron, roll a D100 just to see as you were trying to block up some of those arrow holes. See how many you got.
Ooh.
You know what? He may be a one man, but that work quality, I tell you. All right, so you guys start heading upwards. All right, so there are 2 main entrances to go out. So how do you want to deal with those?
Do you have enough for at least one stone shape?
I have plenty for all the stone shape.
So it would take 2 stone shapes per side.
I can do it all, unless you can get one of them.
I will create an echo to block off one of them.
Your
Just a
echo's
giant-
not. Oh, I see. You're trying to
Yeah.
make a. Okay.
Just a giant square slab that just nestles into it.
Sure. So you summon all your echoes into one giant echo wall.
Yep.
I feel like you're playing Zelda. All right.
Alright. And I use stone shape on the other one, 2 of them.
Okay. So you use 2 stone shapes. That's easy enough. Solomon, I do need you to roll a D100 as you try to form a wall out of echoes.
Oh boy. 47.
Let's see. Roll a Constitution save real quick.
Oh boy.
All right. It's a lot better when you don't have a -8 to everything, huh?
I still have a -3.
All right. So you kind of have a hard time with the smoke, but you do manage to kind of hold. And it takes a bit of time,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems Baron was able to actually block off enough of the holes, and you just kind of see them start to dull down a little bit. However,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we have any viewers. Do you have any viewers who want to roll a D100, or should I make one of these guys do it?
I don't know if anybody wants to roll D100! Roll space 100. Decide our fate.
Let's see what percentage we Excel.
Oh, Excel just come in to lurk. Roll a 100, Excel.
See how much of this we managed to prevent from burning up. Watch it be a 100.
We
like-
saved 100.
Yeah, I
goes
think
down
he,
and then
he
it
said
explodes.
lurk, so he must have done a quick one. Lurk and dash,
A lurk and dash. All right.
I guess.
Guess we're gonna have to. Which one of the two of you wants to roll it then?
Who wants to be responsible for this?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be responsible.
All right, I'll take responsibility.
All right, do
Go
100.
for it.
3.
Hell yeah.
Hang on.
All right.
Hang on. I want to know what I would have gotten had I.
Oh, and,
Oh, and there comes Excel with a 6. So
Okay,
either
very
way.
close. Very close to a good thing Baron didn't do it.
Yep.
Okay, so it takes a while. You did lose a bit just because that lower layer had already been burnt. So probably about 75% of the lower layer was destroyed, but probably only about 33% of the upper layer due to your quick thinking.
Mhm.
So there's about 1 room worth of supplies, mostly intact, I would say. So total loss about 50%.
Not great. Not awful.
But yeah, it's still really smoky. It probably will take a while for that to kind of clear out. So you can kind of figure out what the source is. But it seems to be under control, and you don't see anyone, at least currently, alive here.
I'll just make sure that I go around and if there's any like dirt or anything I can just you pour dirt on your coals on your fire to kind of bury it. I'm gonna go around and do that wherever I can with just like a bunch of chipped stone, I guess.
Yeah, within the time you're doing this, I'd say probably more dwarves have arrived and start kind of assisting with this as well, just because it was very noticeable. But yeah, so while some was damaged, it does seem that at least there was some supply saved.
Oh, also, my spiritual weapon is totally still downstairs, smashing fire. At this point, it's probably just smashing the already destroyed crates. I was too drunk to remember.
So we'll
the command
say,
to follow me.
because you did leave the hammer, as opposed to it being 50-50, it is now 51-40.
Damn it.
How do you turn it off? And eventually it just unsummons after it's time limit.
Yeah.
But it's all good. All right, so while you guys were doing all that, Techno and Tanya. And the little weasel. So after you take a couple wrong turns, you find your way to the Runekeeper's Sanctum. It is like a much larger campus. It almost has like a main central pillar. And there are gates in front of it as well. But you've never actually been inside. You've only ever seen it.
Well, given of all places, this is probably the one that'll stop me from flying in. So she'll land in front of the gate. Are there people there?
Not at the front gate, no. So there's almost like a wall that's kind of set in front of it, and then there's like a main pillar that is inside. So one big wall donut, and then one central pillar inside.
Tanya, go
She'll
up to the gate.
see if she can just walk in.
So you kind of walk in. It almost is like a big open courtyard as you go inside. It goes around the central pillar. You do see at the front of where the entrance is to the pillar, though, there are guards.
She'll run up to one, and as I don't have my character sheet open, I can't look for the wizard's name. What was his name again?
It's Thulman Bane.
Is Thumb Bane around?
They just kind of look you. No.
You know where I can find him?
I don't know. It's late. Probably his house.
Do you know who turned on the delve projection?
Roll a persuasion check.
Can you mark down a sorcery point? I'm going to reroll.
Sure, what did you roll?
I originally rolled a 1. Let's see. The new roll is 13 plus 10, so 23.
Okay. One second. Let me mark off a sorcery point for you. Do. There you go. Why are you things? There you go. Perfect. All right, so there's 2 of them.
For sorcery points, I can't use the bottom 2 for this.
So that is. You said you rolled a 20. What?
23 total.
That's a 22 and a 23. So they kind of look at you. We heard about that, but we don't know.
Is the delve projection controlled from here?
No, the delve is not from here. This is where research is conducted.
Oh, where would I go to find out who turned on the delve projections?
They kind of sit there. Hold on. And one of them goes inside. The other one just kind of waits and stares at you awkwardly.
Gives him a friendly smile.
Deft, roll a D100 for mischievousness.
Mm-hmm.
Doc is not having a good night for rolls. That's his second nat 1 of the night, and that's
Oh,
the second
buddy.
roll of the night. So you watch as he very poorly is trying to sneak away and follow the dwarf inside, but you totally catch him in the act. And the other dwarf just kind of looks down at him. He's like doing a little belly crawl. Is that yours?
Yeah. She'll bend down and pick him up. Where are you going, little guy?
You talk to your animal?
You don't?
Don't have an animal.
You should make one then.
Okay, so Sock doesn't make his way inside. He just kind of like looks at you like I had him. After about 3 minutes, You hear a female voice coming from the door as it opens. Yes, may I help you, dear? It's Gwenera. Zogna. Oh,
Yeah.
it's you, the adventurer woman, the one that dances on the tables, Miss Candlebright, right?
Yes. Do you know where
Quite.
Dallas projections are started from?
Delve project. Yes. Typically that would be a spell that be activated. It's a very powerful spell, though. Typically, it takes many of us to turn on such a thing. I heard that they had activated. That's very strange. Do you know any more about that? And she just kind of is like giving you guys the look.
Oh, I was hoping that maybe you had.
No, but we were just as surprised as everybody else.
I'm also going to give her an insight here.
Sure.
Let's see, that is a base 18. My insight just went up. I think it's insight is wisdom, right?
Yes.
So I believe that would be a 25 then.
Seems pretty on the level.
Do you know who could turn it off?
Um, I mean, and she kind of looks over. It is not playing anymore. So it went up and it basically went up until they were being attacked, and after a while, and then eventually it does cut off. I'm not sure. Did you show her the crystal or no?
She's probably got it in her hand, but hasn't like actively shown it to her.
She's like, I don't. She kind of looks. I don't know. The delve is closed off at the moment. There's no way to get in or out until it's unsealed. I mean, we were just discussing later this evening the possibility of opening up public viewing to have a little bit of openness with the public as to the things we would be using to defend ourselves, but nothing of this scale, and that is most certainly not the delve that you are reporting.
I think someone hijacked your projectors. I just don't know who.
Such a thing seems like it'd be very impossible to do.
Yet it's been done.
Hmm.
I guess the
Well,
question is, who could do it?
well, I don't know. Typically, Tholman would not even do such a thing. It's a very taxing process, you see, so it would have to be someone quite strong. And Tholman is very strong as well, but how long did you say it was on for?
Been on for like a few hours now, hasn't it?
No, it was only on for like a 30-minute stretch before it cut
Okay.
out. So it was basically on from them talking all the way through to the end of their combat, and then it cut out.
Maybe only half an hour or so.
That's still pretty good. I mean, it would have to be a more advanced magic user or a group of magic users.
Mm-hmm. Is there some way you could, I don't know, trace where it started from?
It'd be really hard to say. There's a lot of crystals. You'd have to know which one they connected to. Believe it or not, there's not a lot of fail-safes as far as noting which would be first. They all just kind of are synchronized and activate together. I mean, unless you have a witness or someone who could attest to what happened. Do you know any more about this?
Watching my friends?
Oh, it was your friends. Do you know where they are?
Ideas, but I'm not certain. Though far away from here right now.
Very troublesome indeed. I'm not quite sure how they could be reconnected. To reconnect them and to display would be very difficult indeed.
Know how they were connected to, but not how the delve crystals were.
Well, that's what I mean. The delve crystals are connected to the delve. To have them reconnect and display something somewhere totally different is a whole other matter. Let alone for 30 minutes.
How strong were they? Has anyone ever turned them on by themselves before?
No, not specifically. I mean, there's smaller crystals used in similar type scenarios which can be operated by an individual, but for this, no, not specifically that I could say. I mean, we could access and enter the delve more easily, but as far as these large scale displays, they're normally well planned out events. That's why the delve's every 4 years. We can't just open it whenever we want. These things take planning and provisioning.
To actually turn them on, is it just it takes too much magic, or is the
No,
ritual
it's a continuous ritual. So we have to continue casting the entirety of the event. So we bring in a lot of our people. We bring them back home. A lot of our rune keepers. We hit the full strength schedule provision, and we maintain it through the entirety of the event. At which point the crystals are turned down and the delve is closed.
So whoever was projecting that had to have been constantly casting it?
Yes, as far as I know, they would have to maintain it for at least 30 minutes. Unless it
Did
was
I-
some sort of other spell, but from what you're describing, it sounds like it was using the crystal.
Is it possible for one person to channel that for 30 minutes by themselves? Or is it just too much magic?
At this point in my life and my age, I have made great many things that I would think were impossible have been proven possible, so I really couldn't say that it would be impossible, no. I mean, the only magic users, there's some of our order, but even our upper ranks, while strong, are not quite as strong as Tholman Bane. There was the wizard woman, I believe one of your friends, correct? The one that had been accused of stealing the artifacts? Then there's the Lady Tess, but I heard she's out of town. So, I mean, those are the only ones I know. There was the wizard from Gancaster that was passing through as well, but he left after the meeting earlier today.
Wow.
What'd you say? You're really quiet.
He nods. Well, thank you for answering my questions.
If you find out anything else, let us know. We're happy to help.
You're the
Especially with,
person-
I think the city's really coming together. We're so happy that you're all here. We couldn't have done all of this without you. And she just kind of gives you this kind of sly smile.
Just gives her more of an uncertain one.
Sock gives an evil eye. All right. So once you leave there, do you guys all go back to Tess's, those of you in town?
Yeah,
It is fairly late in the day.
we'll reconvene at. Well, I suppose Ari will start making her way toward where the fire was.
Mhm.
If that situation's been wrapped up, then yeah, she'll reconvene with the others at Tess's.
I'd probably say you could. No, because you got lost. I'd say probably you go look and it looks like it's being wrapped up and there's people like recovering and taking out burnt material. So while the time you guys go back, my Feywilders. So as Patrick has kind of gone up. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as Patrick is kind of sitting there, being prepped, and you just see Gray kind of getting him ready to kind of take a look at him. He can speak to while he's doing it. What do you guys want to do?
I have been hanging out around Gray and bothering him this whole time.
Uh-huh. He just kind of looks at you. Yeah, Steph.
It's been a while, you know. I want to catch up. I feel like it's gonna be a while when we leave. How's it been? How are you doing?
He just kind of like looks about. All things considered, I'm taking advantage of this new opportunity. Like it seems some of my problems, and he kind of like motions towards the children. Seems like some problems from my old life can seem to come back into this life every so often, but other than that, I'd say it's been a pretty pleasant experience. I really did cause a wild magic storm for 3 months. I wasn't kidding. They were furious.
Well, I suppose life changes for the better or the worse.
Indeed. He kind of looks over at you. You look like you've had quite the time since we last saw each other. You guys look a little more seasoned.
I do miss people from back then, but you know,
You just hear an alarm go off on Patrick, and he like quickly moves something, and it shuts off.
Is he
Don't
good?
worry about that.
Oh.
No, he's fine. He's fine. You see him fiddling with some wires.
Is he gonna be okay?
He just kind of like reconnects the wire and pushes it back. Oh yeah, no, totally what we expected. Continue.
I was just gonna say I'm finally looking forward to the future. Seems it's gonna be interesting, if anything.
Well, optimism's always good, but don't let your guard down. There's still much work to do. And people like us, we get more than one lifetime to do it in.
Yeah, I should really ask about that, huh? You know, nobody really tells you much when you get thrown into a job like mine. It's a little hectic.
I didn't even know I was a Fae until I was 14 years old.
Yeah, like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite the discovery.
Mm.
I went to the Plane of Fire not too long ago, and shit was crazy. Like, man.
He just kind of laughs. I can't believe that crazy scheme of his actually worked. I totally thought you were just going to burn up.
Well, I mean, I did. I got better,
but like
though.
more so.
I
did
got
get
better.
It's like, but you and your friends have come a long way from when we used to be in Canada. I remember the first time I saw you guys. Back at that Abbey?
Didn't you try to kill us?
Not specifically. That's a harsh criticism. A harsh criticism. And we didn't know each other then.
Well, I'm pleased that you are not trying to kill me anymore. Fingers crossed.
Don't worry. My days of trying to kill you are long past me. My days of just trying to stay alive, though, I hope are just beginning. So, but I do feel a little bit responsible for at least some of this. If it weren't for me, you know, honestly, a lot of this never would have happened. Had I not escaped that prison, neither would have they, and none of this would have happened. But let's not point fingers, shall we? It's like, what about you? What are your plans after this? And you see Patrick's like arm starting to twitch as he messes with things.
Well, I had some time to think, and I decided that even though there is quite a bit of things to deal with still, I I've chosen a path, and I'm gonna try to stick with it.
Oh, yeah? And what's that path? Patrick's leg kicks up.
It sounds dumb, okay? It's dumb.
You're not becoming a politician, are you?
I'm going back.
You think that's the wisest of ideas?
Of course not, but
You do know what you're up against, correct?
well, yeah.
Satesh's replacement is no laughing matter. She's very rude. I met her one time. Don't worry, she didn't like me either.
If all I can do is get there and do a couple things that I need to get taken care of, that's enough. If I can take it back, that's great, but
What do you
I
need
need
to
to-
get done there?
I need to apologize to Lilia.
That one might prove to be difficult. Do you have
Mhm.
anything less suicidal that you need to
Well-
get done there?
I have a couple threads to chase, but for now, that's what I'd like to focus on.
Well,
I know evil Satesh is definitely still gonna be a problem, but
well, you don't have to worry. They're set against him anyways, so you don't have to worry there.
I guess of all the things I feel responsible for, that one is the most. You know, it's weird because for so long I was like, everything is my fault. I can connect myself to every possible mistake ever made in the world, but I don't think that's fair to me or to my friends.
You
So,
know where that stems from, right?
I raise an eyebrow.
It's not that you truly feel guilty for these things happening. It's your natural instinct to want to do something about it that bothers you so much. Just remember, you can't be everywhere all at once, at least not easily.
You know, I was talking to Theris about that. He has some kind of crazy ideas about godhood. That was a whole other can of worms.
That's strange. I remember Theris mostly from his time in Gancaster. He worked at the orphanage, right? A cleric?
Yeah, him and his
Yes, he was
sister was over there too.
very solid gentleman. He kind of goes into a whisper. And his sister was quite nice also. I mean, not personally my type, but she was very kind.
I feel like I saw her not too long ago. I can't remember.
By chance, you haven't seen Alistair lately, have you?
Oh, Alistair.
Not
When did I
recently.
last see him? Yeah, not recently. I've heard about him recently.
Yeah, he's the king now. Or
Yeah.
of what's left.
Are
That's
you
good to
ever
hear.
gonna go after him again?
It's like, no, it's I'm better in this life. Besides, he's got enough things on his shoulders, I'm sure. Besides, after all that kingdom has been through, I think they're in good hands. It's really unfortunate what happened to the king and the prince and the queen, but if anyone can turn it around, I think he has a good opportunity.
I
Hopefully
wish
his
he could've-
advisors do him better than, well, the last of my service.
Yeah, I wish you could have left off on better terms with him for both of your sakes.
I was able to make my final sacrifice. If you do recall, during the last war, so he was holding his kingdom, which was Eastern Gancaster, where the Arcanum and all that is now. He sent his armies to go break the siege at Central Gancaster to save them, and he ended up getting captured in the process and put to death.
Yeah, bummer.
Yeah. Thankfully, it wasn't permanent. I guess we have that in common.
So is this like a forever thing?
What, mine or yours?
Both.
I don't know about you. I mean, I think I live a very long time. I'm still very new to this whole Archfey thing.
Yeah.
He's like, look though, his arm like grows into a root and like wraps
Whoa.
around a tree and comes back.
That's
I know, it's
crazy.
really cool. I could do some crazy shit.
I'm still figuring stuff out still on my end, but guess we're kind of in the same boat here, huh?
It's like, well, like I said, I'll help you where I can. And he kind of just sits there and thinks for a second. Roll a D100.
A lot.
I mean, outside of, I can't physically get to the plane without the body, but if DB is truly in the city, maybe he could be persuaded to help you in. I don't think going after Lilia in any capacity would be a wise idea, but if your intent is to get within the walls, I think I could potentially help with that.
That would be great. Yeah. I mean, that's the first hurdle for sure. I was gonna bank on Nicodemus, but DB is probably gonna be a little more reliable. If I have to think about it.
And I think he would have less eyes than Nicodemus as well. Your party lord always drew a lot of attention. No offense.
Oh, he liked it. Was intentional.
Just be careful if you go in there. You have a lot right now. Just remember what you risk for what you're about to gain, and take it into consideration wisely. There's many things that I didn't estimate correctly, and I would do many things to get them back. It's not too late for you, though. Except my skin. Look at my skin; is amazing.
It's very nice. I
Kind of
don't
like
know what
sparkles.
it is about the Feywild. Yeah, no, it's great.
It's the diamond magic. It's just it kind of settled in.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm glad you are okay.
I'm glad you're still in one piece as well.
Besides, you promised all these little fey creatures that you'd go ahead and take care of the problems for them.
I did do that, didn't I? No, I said you'd take care of it here, though, right?
I don't remember quite.
No, I think that's what we. No, that's what we agreed to. I said you would help them here.
I'm pretty sure you said that you
No,
would be of help and I would be of.
I'm going off to deal with the big one. You're going to help with that, and then okay, yeah.
Oh, it's speaking of which, yes. So that does prove to be very difficult. And I died long before that thing was created. I'm not really sure what happened there, but they most certainly have infested the Feywild veins. And they're using them to kind of grow and spread. So far, they're kind of centralized to a general area, but if they grow at a much faster rate, they could potentially spread to other worlds as well. If you are well aware, if you do recall, you can use the Feywilds to traverse these different material planes.
Man, I've never been here before. The Feywilds kind of freak me out. I've had enough of weird time dilation. If you can just prod Patrick's brain for any info, I think he's got something good in there. That's enough. I'll leave you alone.
Like I said, I'll do what I can. You just see Patrick clap his hands.
Oh, is that did you do that?
It's just a reflex. It's a reflex.
Oh, wait. Can I try?
Yeah, so you touch that wire to that wire until it sparks. You see that? And then.
Oh, wow.
All right. So, as you guys kind of sit there, because it takes a while, oddly enough, the day and night cycle here is very strange. it kind of changes colors in this specific spot. It doesn't actually go day to night. But while you guys are kind of hanging out and biding your time while you're there, you guys make it back to Tessa's house.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. Yeah, you do see Kale is still up. Kids are asleep. He says, "Are you guys okay? I heard the explosion."
Yeah.
What happened?
We get back at the same time, or is this them getting back first?
This is once you're all back, yeah.
Okay. She'll glance over to, or look over to Solomon and Baron then.
If we got back at the same time,
No, this is just once we're all back.
oh, then I would not be there.
Okay, I guess looks over at Baron.
Well, I was actually going to say, if we ever got a chance to go back down to that first level, I want to inspect the bodies and try to determine the exact cause of death.
There were no bodies. You found a couple of dust piles.
The dust piles.
Other than the dust and the remnants that weren't disintegrated, it looks like people were disintegrated, basically, more or less.
So that
Okay.
was complete and total dustification.
Dustification, indeed.
Would I be able to use my legend lore to determine whether or not that dagger had anything to do with it?
If you want to try, you certainly can. You could also roll an Arcana check first if you want to check before a spell to see if it's magical. You are a smith, so you would have a little bit more experience, I would say, as well. So you can roll an investigation check or a smithing check, your choice.
Oh, dude, I want to do a smithing check.
Yeah, you feel it.
What's a
your dwarven muscles? Just you could use. I think it's just your strength-based one is fine for this.
Okay,
it's your connection to the metal.
Let's see, strength-based. My only strength. Wait, is that true?
I think
one strength-based.
I think it's just you're proficient unless you're double proficient in smithing. I know you're at least proficient in smithing.
I don't know if I'm double proficient.
So I would say go ahead, roll strength plus proficiency.
Plus proficiency, okay. So it's +6. Oh, hot damn.
You pull out like your little prospector lens, you throw it on your eye, like, oh. You gather this is just a very simple dagger. Thinking back on it, it probably looks like someone was reaching for the weapon. All of the materials you kind of had from just your own experience, they seemed like just basic guard attire. Nothing seemed like of any great importance.
Okay. Then I will turn the dagger over to one of the guards that has arrived. And if Solomon is ready to vacate the premises, I will vacate with him.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything you wanted to do before you left there, too, Solomon?
Do I see any signs of someone leaving other than us?
I mean, you could roll a survival check near the end before you guys left.
Yep.
Can't go for it. You do see, as you're going towards the exit, you see little ashy footprints that kind of lead out a couple of steps before it seems like there wasn't enough ash clinging to the foot anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like a human-sized footprint, if you had to throw a guess to it. It wasn't like very wide like a dwarf. It was not very elvish. I mean, they're fairly close, but something about the stature of a human.
It doesn't have the grace of the elf.
It lacks the grace of the elf and the bulkiness of the dwarf.
Mm-hmm. I probably should keep that to myself if I don't want to start a...
Don't worry, it's not a dragon footprint. That would just be like the final straw. Poor dragons. All right, anything else you do before you guys head back to the manor?
Before we get to Tess, I will inform Baron that there was a human footprint leaving.
Lord Firebright. The footprints. Thank goodness it wasn't your new house that burned down. That would have been a bummer. We just started rebuilding that forge.
Oh, I would have been so heartbroken.
Which is very interesting, too, because I guess now you technically are going to own a newly constructed forge and you have a manor?
Just, just Mr. Monopoly over here.
And then once we get back to Tess, Solomon's going straight back to the library.
All right, so you go back into the library as kind of the rest of them are getting there. So basically, he's in the library, the rest of you are outside. Ardella's probably asleep at this point anyways. So you're back out with Kale.
Is she
We're going to
really,
drink
though?
the move real quick. You don't know.
Mom's not home to enforce bedtime.
There is technically no one. Her uncle's not here. She was up with Kale. Kale doesn't have the best record with his parenting of small children. But you don't see it. So what do you guys discuss and do before the day ends on that side?
Damage like
I didn't catch that.
You kind of got it a little bit.
That was universe.
Oh no, they got techno.
She asked what the damage was like.
It was, well, I'd say we saved perhaps half, maybe a little bit less than half of the medical supplies, but it was burned up pretty good, and it appears that there were 2 guards who are no longer with us, and their bodies are also no longer with us.
What do you mean?
I mean, little piles of dust.
As you mentioned the little pile of dust, you just watch Kale get real quiet because he was just a little pile of dust not more than a day ago.
Sure
You don't
does.
think it was that guy, do you?
Baron, this is important. Ash or dust?
Well, I didn't stop to really test it, but it looked like it was just going off of my memory.
Mhm.
When we did the investigation, did you say it was ash or did you say it was dust?
It kind of looked like dust.
Okay. Well, I do believe it was dust. It did not quite look like ash, and believe me when I say there was plenty of ash in the room to compare it to.
You start thinking back on this now that you mention it, Bern. You're like, maybe there was more people in there.
Thanks for the raid, Saturday.
Huh.
Hey, Saturday.
I got it wrong. The protection was the distraction.
Kale also at this point now he's like, where's everybody else?
She'll look down at the crystal. Is it still projecting?
Yeah, you still have an image of them.
They're busy right now.
Well, at least they're okay, I guess.
What's going on? I'm gonna look in on it. What is Rust Bucket doing? What is that man doing to him?
You just see him like digging inside of his head.
I don't know.
And then you see, this is the point like where they're playing with the wire to make his hands clap. If you see Deft, who has no experience like putting his hands there and touching the wire,
Hey, Pinky, get your filthy hands out of him.
there's no audio. You can't hear him. You can yell at the crystal though. Tanya, roll an intelligence check plus proficiency.
Worst nightmare. Tanya getting to see inside his head.
Oh, this is horrible for Tanya. It's like everything Tanya ever wanted, but she has to watch it
know.
through her crystal.
It's not fair.
Ooh, nice dice. You're just like probably really fixated on this crystal because you get to see like the inner workings of Patrick's head. You're like, not that wire.
Yeah, she's just gonna give commentary. You know, like that person that watches TV. No, don't do that.
Yeah, you're criticizing the TV as it's on.
Would it be possible for me to get there?
I mean, it's not impossible. You guys do have methods. So to get to the Feywild, you guys can communicate with them because sending works. Sending stones don't work. The only sending stones that potentially may work, and you've never tried it, would be the one that Patrick has, although Patrick's offline, and the one Leah has. The normal ones you have, because they're kind of an at-will or almost walkie-talkie between all of you and the stones, they do not work off-plane, which is the only downside. So unless you guys want to like send Leah a telegram to send a sending spell, because none of us have sending. And I think the only people with sending are technically in the Feywild, if I recall. Or I guess technically Baron can learn it if he wanted for a day.
Yeah, I may have to pick up sending.
I have a sending stone.
That they don't work crossplane.
I mean, I could plane shift, but that seems like a real waste of a level 7 spell slot.
Well, and you also need something attuned to the plane that you're going to. You can use the shard. If you guys want to use the shard, you could plane shift using the shard.
Well, it has to be specifically like a fork, doesn't it? Like a fork attuned to the plane?
Something like a fork. So it has to be like an object that's attuned to the plane itself. So for all intents and purposes, this one serves the same purpose.
Well, Tanya's ready to go to get a chance to mess inside the head.
I'm not taking you with me, lass. I'm going there to knock Pinky's head aside.
But I'm an expert.
There's only one expert on Patrick, and it's Patrick.
I won't be able to get us there till tomorrow, and from what I heard, there's some weird time stuff to worry about. We might just have to wait till we can get here.
It's probably for the best. I have a feeling we may be needed in the town. More tomfoolery is afoot.
There's also at least one powerful wizard who seems to be against us. I'm guessing the same one that burnt down that building.
Well,
Yeah, you can't even speak to them yet in the plane.
If you have some information, lass, please feel free to share.
Yes, you can, Todd.
Actually, wait. There would have had to been at least two. So, those projectors, the Delphins, I think someone hijacked them to try and draw me away from the building. Then they set the building on fire. You said it was full of medical supplies?
Aye.
Probably to burn out the city's stockpile of supply. I fell for it, of course. But apparently, to keep those crystals running, you need to constantly be maintaining a ritual, something that's incredibly difficult to do by yourself. So there might even be a team of people.
An entire team of magically inclined individuals.
And then one to actually set the building ablaze.
Well,
And
this
by the sounds
sounds
of it,
like
Kale looks at you. This sounds like an inside job.
it
that's
might
quite
be.
the conspiracy.
From what they were saying on the screens, it certainly looked like they were being tracked.
But
So the
who
only
would do such a thing?
Oh, that's what that was. Huh. I thought that looked like boss.
well, apparently, the not so nice Satosh has made a return. What they said is true. I wouldn't doubt that he has something to do with it.
I only met that guy one time. He was kind of creepy.
Yeah, he tried to abduct me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That was what the time I remember.
What?
Huh.
Uh,
That's weird though, but why would they show boss? And why did those creatures attack him afterwards?
well, I'm guessing he might have some connection to the creatures, and they might be after him.
Are you trying to say that the boss is a monster too?
What? No.
He refers
I mean,
to Death.
Satosh might have a connection, and they might be after Death.
Satosh is dead.
Other Satosh.
Oh. You have to say other Satosh or I'm going to get confused.
Sorry.
Or you could say Satosh 1 and Satosh 2. That's what we used to do. Of course,
I only
Satosh 2
know
is the other one.
I only know of one Satosh, so that doesn't make much sense to me.
There's two. There's the one that turned himself into Ruby to seal off the abyss, and then there's an evil one.
Kale just kind of has this puzzled look for a second as you say in the evil one. He's just like, well, yeah, no, I guess that makes sense. He's like, I guess it all was a matter of your perspective. I'm sorry, I try not to say that. Old habits die hard. Now the third one.
It's almost like we need another name. Perhaps one that sounds similar, but is slightly different.
You guys still need a new name for the children. That has been the best, most confused thing ever since it was done, and it's been so widespread because that's what you guys called them.
I'm guessing he's working with with those creatures, and I'm guessing someone was relaying information to them via those projectors. I'm not sure how, but they also seem to have been able to hack or like get into this crystal.
Strange. Like, this hurts my. I'm gonna go lay down.
All right.
He just scratches his head from too much overthinking. All right. So, is there anything you want to do tonight? Otherwise, we're gonna do kind of an expedient, like 2-day prep time skip type deal.
Yeah, nothing in particular. She'll put the crystal in her bag, just in case someone's spying on them. Buy it, get Sock to bed, check on Ardella. Um,
Yeah, Ardella's asleep. She's just in bed.
okay.
And she's got house attendants and things too, so I'm going to long rest you guys. So I would say probably the next thing you could easily do before we expedite just what you guys are doing for the next few days, if you want to go through communicating with them and planning in the morning. But essentially, whatever your guys' next course of actions are, Patrick's work takes 3 days to complete. So you have that time to basically do whatever you want your current location. So they're in the Feywild. You guys could go there. You guys could do stuff in town. But it is the morning. Let me rest. Come on. Nope. Rest. Long rest.
Yep. I'm
Okay.
glad I didn't. Hold up. What is that? A spirit guardian. Okay. Also, don't mark me down for the first day.
Oh, as far as resting,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I rested in the last 48 hours. I should be fine.
I don't think you're really missing. Thanks for the raid. I don't think you're missing too many hit points, right?
Hey, Scar,
No,
thanks
I
for the raid.
auto-rested
Hope you all had
everybody.
a good game.
Well, no, I had no expended resources.
Yeah, you're okay then. It's just your first day.
Yeah, I was referring to the check. Total
Mhm.
resurrection.
Oh. So yes, you still remain at 3.
I spent all night at the library.
All right, so following morning, you guys wake up. You can pick new spells if you want. So if anyone wants sending, you can do that, or prep as you wish. And then once you guys communicate, we can figure out what your plans are and what you're doing. You do have a couple of different options, just to go over what you had been informed of so far. So, and I don't think Def shared yet, but essentially Deft and Theris are aware of 3 potential locations where you could find Elwyn, who basically is the most knowledgeable person about the dragon and potentially ways to deal with it. You do have your general things that you just had going on between Death's Kingdom, defending the city, investigating those types of things, investigating the children themselves. Any prep you want to do in between that. You could potentially get Gray's body if you wanted to. For your battle, you could do a lot of different things. So really up to you guys.
Say for Theris during all this time, like while Def's talking with Gray and things like that, he'll have been spending carefully dissecting and studying the children's bodies, trying to figure out. And
roll a D100 as well, Theris, or you can have chat do it. Up to you.
Yeah, if chat's out there, chat roll me a 100. Exclamation point, roll space 100. And also conversing with the tree about, as old as this thing is, just any kind of knowledge he can glean from it.
Oh yeah, he's super smart too. He was just pretending to be stupid before. But yeah, I'd say they fend off a couple of just children texts. As children are in the area as well. They breed here. So they are there. So you do get a couple of chances. Roll a medicine check, and then we'll see what the D100 is for something else.
I'll be right back.
Kind of try to figure out what you can. You look through, and for the most part, the majority of them are all the same one that you've typically seen. You haven't really seen any more of the alternative types yet. They seem to send these main soldier ones more or less over and over and over again. Whether they're testing or prodding, you're not sure. But I mean, they're fairly complex. You don't really see any immediate weaknesses. They do apparently seem to be immune to their own acidic blood, at least on certain parts of their body. Some of the internal organs, not as much, but their harder outside shell certainly does seem to at least have some capacity. Other than that, you kind of just note some of their attacking capabilities. You do note also from Patrick's discovery, they do seem to use echolocation. And that potentially could be something you could exploit, as they seem to be overwhelmed, at least temporarily, when Patrick even did. Wasn't like a major loud sound, but when he attempted to do so, it did distract them and throw them off for a bit.
Somebody in
However,
chat wants to screw me over with a high roll.
this
Someone roll that
100 is
100.
going to be the most relevant roll ever. It's great.
While we're waiting for that, I'm actually oh, there's one. 35 from Saturday. Thank you, brother. That was a good low. Go ahead.
So, during kind of your time just spent here, and you have the time to investigate, and you help fend off a couple attacks over the few days you would be there. During one of the reconnaissance where you go and are assisting, you do manage to kill 2 or 3 of these off with a couple of the Fae that work for Gray. And you do find a very familiar satyr, a female satyr and 2 little baby satyrs. It was the gentleman from before. It seemingly was not his family, and he did seemingly survive. Thank you, Mr. Theris.
Ah, good to see you. I figure you'd run off to your demise.
Yes. And he just watches. They kind of all try to stay around the sanctuary where Gray is, more or less. In between the tree, the Queen, and Gray, they typically stay pretty safe. But on the outskirts, past their area, it's a little bit more sketchy.
You said he had kids.
Yeah, so it was his wife and his 2 kids.
So that when Theris sees his family with him, he actually as he's become more kind of withered and skeletal looking, his face actually kind of brightens into a genuine smile. Like, at least you saved the youth, and kind of pats him on the head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you have that happen over a couple of days. So the morning of, though, for your communications, what did you guys want to discuss, or who is reaching out with the first? Or is it, who's going to commit to memorizing, sending, and being the responsible one? We all know what the real question here is.
1, 2, 3, not it. Also, I'm
You
getting
wanna-
dogs out again.
You
Be
little
right back.
rascal.
Hey,
You skinny twig.
so Theris called not it for the Feywild people, who calls not it for the material plane people.
I mean, if you guys want to like give me, I don't know, like 4 levels or something real quick, I can definitely take sending.
I think the only person capable, technically Tessa has sending in the Feywild as well. I think
Don't
only
make her do
Baron
it.
can learn it.
I will make the sacrifice.
All right, so you prep sending.
I do.
All right, so do you guys? Well, first you need to communicate with the team to share what you guys know and figure out what you want to do. But yeah, you basically have a 2 to 3 day period of time to commit to whatever you guys want to prep, get ready to do, and then we'll execute on those plans. Don't everybody go all at once.
I share all of the information,
Dude, I'm a fighter.
including
All the information. Nice.
including when I first do sending, I'm going to direct it to Deft, and I'm going to. I don't know if I can do this or not in a sending spell, but I would like to project my voice as loudly as possible so that it's like I'm yelling in his ear. Like
Roll an
inside
Arcana
his-
check. Roll
his
an Arcana
brain.
check.
Good question. Isn't it a 5% failure rate if they're on a different plane?
All right, so you do need to roll a D100 for that, which you should be able to
All right.
pass pretty easily.
I want to roll a D100 to see if I like happen to be using my necklace at that time. It's gonna be like 5%, but I'm
You
gonna
have
roll
to-
for it.
You have to activate your necklace, but I
Yeah, but
approve this.
what if I'm like listening closely to birds when he sends me this message? I just want to see if it's like less than 5%. Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Yeah. I mean, it comes over just internally. You do try that.
Okay. I think that I'm yelling in your ear. Pancake, I saw what you were doing with my boy, with Rust Bucket yesterday. And I just want you to know, I
End of
am
message.
I am disgusted by the end of message. And then very shortly after, another one comes through. And I'll also have you know that I will be lodging a formal complaint.
With who?
An adult.
Yeah, just the first non-us adults that I find.
First authority you see.
Tess. I'm gonna lodge it with Tess.
Oh.
That's probably the scariest thing you could have chosen.
And last but certainly not least, no, that's it. That's where I. Yep.
Nice.
I'm back.
That's where the sending message
Oh.
ends. And then
I was like, did I disconnect?
And then I specifically don't pick up on that.
Mm.
I purposely don't pick up on that when I actually start sending real information over.
All right. So What do you guys want to get? What are you prepping? What's your plans for the next few days? What do you guys want to get done? And then what is your ultimate goal? You guys let me know.
So
Well,
I
first
think
of all,
we what? You cut out techno.
Techno.
He's gone. I'm just gonna continue. We should probably pick a spot to go after Elwyn. That'd be a good start.
I support that decision. I think getting some assistance.
Uh-oh.
Who'd we lose?
I think that was techno.
Okay. I think getting some assistance from an individual as distinguished, or so I've heard, as how's it pronounced? Eldwin?
Elwyn.
Elwin? I don't see how that could be of any harm. As I furiously check my notes, I believe Sir Astral has given me a bounty if I find Elwin.
Yeah.
Yep.
I certainly think that this Elwin guy, he sounds competent enough.
Yeah, he was nice, but like, just kind of weird at times. Did he ever do like the finger puppet thing with you guys? It probably sounds weird. No, I'm sure he didn't.
I don't have any characters there for that one.
Was that a reply during sending?
Yes.
Should be to Baron.
Was Baron relay that?
Oh yeah, Baron is definitely relating. Pinky. Oh, actually, you know what? This is how Baron is going to relay it. Pinky says that he thinks there's an individual named Elfwin that can assist us. What do you all know about him?
Ari's eyes just like narrow. And he's a bit of an ass.
But is he a competent ass?
She just like crosses her arms, looks away. No.
It's a yes.
Oh. I see.
I'm probably
Well,
not there.
I've learned
depending on the way you talk.
I've learned two things today. That Eltwin is indeed a competent ass, or maybe not ass. And I still don't understand how to read women.
She just throws you a glare note.
I will relay back to Pinky. All right, Pinky. Save for Lady Candlebright. I think everyone is on board with finding this Eltwin fellow.
All right. Well, we should be done here fairly soon, the next day or two. I suppose we'll meet back up with you, and then we'll have to go to Karis from there.
All right, which location do you guys want to pursue first? They are still marked. Please see chat for map.
No more that place.
Yeah, Baron
That other
informed them of
place.
the fact that they were being watched.
Yeah, Baron could, at the very end, all right, it sounds like a plan. We will talk to you again soon. Oh, and by the way, be careful. We might be being watched. Click.
Oh. Okay. Bye. There's.
I think he's AFK.
I will relay it to everyone here, the plan. TN.
So once you guys regroup, which so interesting thing too. You can't actually really easily get to any of those three locations because you haven't been to any of them. So the only places you guys have been, you have all been to Florin on the East Coast. Deft has been to Bayside on the northwestern coast.
Ari and Darius have also been to Bayside.
Also correct. but no one has really been anywhere else on this island. So keep that in mind as you plan where you plan to head to.
Can I ask Gray why he thinks Elwyn is at each of these locations? Like, what tip did he get?
Okay, well, my secret's not kinda.
It would be helpful in narrowing it down, but I guess.
Let's just say I have my eyes and ears about. And these are the 3 places that he's been seen recently. I think he's on the low, kind of hiding at the moment.
He's been kind of hard to find. Pretty sure Astra put a
Understandable.
bounty on him.
Also understandable. I imagine it would be very hard to perpetuate and create more creations without a creator to help make them.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna pick one if you don't have anything to go off of.
I mean, not specifically. He's been seen at least each location in the last month. Your guess would be as good as mine.
All right. Hmm. Give it some more thought. Now, from what I know about Elwyn, he's like a very social, antisocial person.
Kind of, yeah. Small doses.
He likes when people watch his puppet shows. But I can't imagine he would set up shop in a town. The ominous spire tower in the foggy mountain is a very solid base location choice, but it is pretty far from civilization.
That is water.
Oh, it's water?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty cool then. It's a pretty cool base location.
The other one is a farming community, and the top one is a dwarven settlement outside Craster. So basically, they do a lot of the building, but they have their own settlement outside the city. So anything you guys want to do during those days, or do you want to fast forward to getting out of the Feywild and seeing how that goes?
Good to fast forward.
I don't think there's anything.
Okay. If anyone has anything, now would be your moment. Otherwise, we'll fast forward to the end of the 3 days.
One more thing I would like to share with Gray. So, you know the like black juice that Satesh kept giving us?
Yeah, vaguely.
I take out the little jar of it.
Why do you have that?
Omosh gave me the last one. I don't know what to do with this.
Don't drink it.
Yeah. Is there like a safe way to dispose of it? Because I don't think anybody should be drinking this.
I mean,
Even as a last resort, it's not great.
you could just dump it out, but I don't know what effect that would have. At least then no one would drink it.
Did he ever give you any of this stuff?
No, me, no.
Why not?
I'm not sure. That came into play much later on. Was something to do with a chest a wizard had provided.
Yeah, we kind of beat those guys up, and I don't know what happened to them.
Well, good. They probably had it coming.
But if somebody drinks this, I am kind of concerned because I don't know what to expect anymore.
I would say, just in general terms, probably best to avoid that. Hey, Baron.
I mean,
Oh, it was Baron who went down.
oh, he's not even in VC anymore.
No, it's him who crashed. I thought it was Techno.
Oh, it was Nick. Okay.
All right, anybody call? Whoops. Oh well, I missed them.
Just worried that if I dump it out, some like ant or bug is gonna drink it and like hulk out. Guess I'll just keep it for now.
What? Wonder what it would do to the children, to these creatures. What if it did something horrible to them and somehow spread through their hive mind?
You're not here. Where are you?
I'm not?
Have you been listening? There is?
I thought we were in the same place.
You guys are all in the Feywild. It depends if you're talking through sending or not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Ferris
just
is in the Feywild with
didn't
you.
hear you saying ascending.
Oh, I've just been hanging out with Gray and bothering him a lot over our stay.
Indeed, you did.
You know, this is very bad juice. We don't want to do that, There's.
Well, it didn't actually happen. You just, for some reason, heard my voice in your head saying that, but it wasn't real.
That's what Theris would have said right now.
I mean, he seemed like a pretty respectable person. I mean, you could always give it to him.
I'm gonna be honest, he's gotten a little scary lately.
Oh, really? I hadn't noticed.
I don't know if it's just his tone or like he's got, I don't know, something about his eyes just changed and he's scarier. It's cool in like an intimidating way.
Very interesting.
I think we've all been through a lot. So what does this button do?
No, not that.
All right, Dustin, what do you want
Yeah, I'll
for your
die.
next character?
Okay. So, at the end of your 3 days,
I think Mari wanted to do something.
what do you have, right?
Oh, I said, so Dustin, what do you want to make, or what do you want for your next character?
Did you want to do anything over the 3 days?
Oh, I don't think there's anything in particular. She's probably just like a feather on guard. But other than that,
All right. Then let's get to the fun part. Exiting the Feywild. So, as Patrick kind of comes back to his senses after the 3 days, what is your departure plan?
Yeah, what is our departure plan? Gray? How are we getting home?
I thought you guys had magic to get back.
Oh, we do, but I thought you can help us back, right?
Well, I can bless you to make sure you make it back in a reasonable time. However, only 100. You may not like so much the method of return.
Ominous.
What goes up must come down, my friend.
Oh. Theris, can you You can teleport, right?
No, I could open a gate. Or I could recall us directly to my
Would
home.
that work? Gray, that's fine, right?
Recall with my blessing. I don't see why that would be a major issue. That should work. I mean, otherwise, there are other ways back. He just smiles at you.
It's just this look of dread on my face.
You get the feeling you gotta go back through the toilet unless you figure out your own way. He looks very amused by this as well.
What
will it be?
I think we're ready to teleport back whenever you are, Theris.
All right, chat, roll a D100 in advance of this if you guys don't mind. And whenever you guys are ready.
Need to wait for that 100 first?
Well, I mean, you could cast it if you're ready to go, and we'll see what happens. But the 100 is going to tell us how much fun we have.
Does anyone else need to be evacuated out of here?
It's just you, Patrick,
There's
and
an
Def
11 from Wastrel. Appreciate that.
Not bad, not bad. I'll tell you what that ended up doing for you once we get out of here.
There's just the 3, or is there, no, there's 4 of us.
Only 3, I believe, right? Oh no, 4 because Tess.
Well, Ari came through too, didn't?
No, Ari's still back
home.
So it's you, Deft, Patrick, and Tess. Gray is there, but Gray cannot come back into the world or come back to your plane. At least not yet.
So if there's up to 2 others that need to get out of here, I can take them as well. Or if they want to, like,
pay creatures.
Yeah, but still, with the children encroaching, if like those 2 centaur fawns or something, if they needed to be removed or anything.
You know what? There's roll D100 for yourself.
Yeah, roll me a 100.
No, this is you.
Oh,
this
me?
one's on
Okay.
you. This is more humorful one for me.
Okay. That's a 17.
As you mention it, as you're kind of getting ready to go, let's see. Oh no, I don't know if she'd do that one. I'm trying to think if there's anyone who'd be willing to go. Probably not at this point. Yeah, because they're there. The tree wouldn't go. No, I think that would probably be, out of all the people that are in that little area, another one would probably be, unless you want to try to convince something to go with you.
I'm not trying to convince. I'm just saying if there's anybody that feels they need to get out for safety reasons, kids first, of course.
You know what? I will say there is probably a small redheaded girl.
Redheads are trouble, so I don't know about that.
Up to you.
Ari takes offense to this.
No, yeah. If there's any that are needing to go see, I think it's. Let me double check the number I can get.
7.
Come on.
You mean if you're heading out, I'd take a ride?
I know what you are.
Trouble. Where is my button? There it is. Me and 5 willing. So we've got.
There's you. It's the 4 of you,
Patrick
and then
Tess. Yeah, 2 more. So 2 more. Whatever.
Just 1 girl.
The little redheaded girl isn't wearing a funny ring by chance, is she?
Oh, funny ring?
Just a funny little ring?
Not specifically.
Okay.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
What chat said was morning.
Oh, all right.
That is morning.
Not everybody's
somewhere.
US.
Yeah, it's morning somewhere.
So, as you guys teleport, do you take the redheaded child, or do you leave the ginger behind?
Unless there's an objection, yeah. Or that I can sense anything off.
Not specifically. Totally up to you guys.
Is there a problem, Deft?
The little girl looks up to you, just smiles at you, Deft.
I smile back. Oh, not at all.
Okay, everybody get close. And get everybody close in, and I'll recall.
All right, so as you guys kind of get there, I'll pick on Deft because Deft's fun to pick on for these. So as you kind of are sitting there waiting for his recall spell, the little girl kind of looks over at you, Deft. Why do you have horns?
Why is your hair red?
Oh no. She kind of like pulls her hair in front of her. Just is.
Just is.
You're funny. What's your name?
Well, these days I go by many names, but you
Nice
can
to
call
meet
me
you, Al.
Deft. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh,
My name's Mara. And as you guys teleport back, you're back in Theris's house.
Should we let the others know we're back? Or first off, I guess check the houses and has anybody returned? Because one, we don't know how long we've actually been gone on the prime material versus buffet.
Sure. What room in your house? I know Baron teleports to your liquor cabinet.
I think we're probably there's probably a special room that's right near the liquor area.
Sure. So as you teleport in, I need you to roll a perception check.
just kind of solemnly
Anyone who's
stare.
there for sound. So this is Deft or Theris.
Say passive's 22 if it matters.
I'm just picturing.
You guys do hear voices in his house. Quite a few. Coming from outside the door towards the main area of the house.
They sound familiar?
No, not at all. There's at least like a good 6 of them.
So
it just sounds like people chatting.
I'll look at Deft. I'm like, those don't sound familiar, and they shouldn't be in my house. And I'll get ready to jump into action, and I'll go walking in.
Are they in his house or outside?
They're inside the house. So you guys are in a room in his house. These are in his house as well, but outside the teleport room.
Is the little kid still here?
What little kid?
Never mind.
Must not have made it through.
Well,
you peek out or you just walk out?
Actually, I can't. Can I make a duplicate of myself with the staff, or only the?
No, you could only. So your staff can materialize into any one of the souls that it has within it, but not yourself.
I'll hold my hand out and let the staff flies from my hand, and my sister appears.
Other Thea? Perfect.
Yeah, Thea.
She just kind of does like a little curtsy.
Sister, can you find out who is in our home, please?
Surely. And she kind of slowly slips out of the door.
Hey, is that actually your sister? Or is that just like an illusion? That's
That's also a very good point. No one has ever seen this before.
There's a slight pause from Theris. It's more illusion.
Does it look like an illusion?
You're not.
I know my illusions. I know my illusions.
You've seen him materialize these individuals out of the staff before, like once, maybe 3 times tops.
Because one went with her when she was checking the guy on the fence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you've seen him do it, but never his sister, and you know his sister's alive. It's the depth. Okay. Red flags. There's like red flags all over the field on this one.
But do we know that his sister's alive? When was the last time anyone's seen her
You saw her not too long ago. You
Yeah, I
saw her
think
when
you
you
all
came
spoke
back.
with her.
Yeah, she's staying with she's with Douglas at Penelope's. Douglas rescued her.
Yes.
So within the last 2 to 3 weeks, I'd say. But yeah, so you see her and she just kind of walks out. Kind of out there for 5 minutes and you just hear voices. If you guys want to have your own conversation while she's out and about.
I'm trying to like listen in if there's trouble or anything, and if I can eavesdrop.
You don't hear anything specific. And then you just hear things kind of start getting quieter until there's no voices left. It's just quiet.
I'm gonna go invisible and try to take a peek.
All right, so you sneak out the door. You look out, and in the hallway, there's a Symtherian soldier. And he has a neck wound, and he bled out against the wall and fell down on his butt, with his back against the wall.
Cynthia is okay, right?
Symthir's this kingdom that was raiding and invading Gancaster.
Oh.
You walk further in and you see another 3 dead soldiers in the kitchen. And then another 2 towards the front of the house. And you just see his sister sitting there holding a knife. I took care of the intruders. Don't worry, dear.
I'm
It's
invisible.
safe now. No, I know.
Thanks. What? Didn't know,
There's you can come out at this point, too. You just see all these dead bodies.
Oh, I will immediately, because I don't know why they were here, reach out to see if I can grab a soul for questioning. If
Yeah, roll a D100. You can just do one for all of them. Yeah, no, you easily, so you can add 5 Symtherian soldier souls to your soul inventory. They're minor souls. And you quickly
5.
collect their memories. And as you do, you immediately panic and probably would go to your front door.
I say immediately run and kind of peek out a window that's by the front door.
You look out, and you see much of the city has been razed, and you see Symtherian flags flying everywhere. And that is where we will pause for tonight.
Uh-oh.
What did you expect to happen?
Those sons of bitches took over.
That roll saved your house. That was to determine if your house burned down and you teleported back to an ash pile. So your house still exists, but don't worry, your sister took care of the
She may have. So, well, at least we'll get some inside information, and I will be able to use one of their soldiers lookalikes to help out.
All right.
Yeah. So
Thank
yeah,
you so much for
have
the follow.
access to all of them. Very nice.
Cool. Well, anybody who joined late, sorry about that. We're just wrapping up, but appreciate everybody who came in. Appreciate the raids and the follows. Tomorrow night, midnight Central, come back and have some grimdark action going. We'll see if they can finally find the Honeyman, or if they mess around with more buckets full of urine and feces like they were so obsessed with last weekend. And then back Tuesday for Kelso's game, and I'm hoping to kick off some AD&D very, very soon. I've got the overlays and stuff done now.
I'm gonna be a player again.
Yay! So get some old school going on then. So everybody have a great weekend. If we don't see you tomorrow night, and be good, and hang on through the credits, and I'll find us someone to raid. Have a good night, everybody.
All right,
Good
everybody.
night, everyone.
Have a nice night.